Hello everyone, and welcome back to another 327th Star Corps video. Today we're diving into the curious and somewhat infamous legacy of Blue Baked Bean, a name that may strike fear within the ranks of the 327th Star Corps. Some know him as a dedicated member of both Secura's Blade and Hawkbat, while others speak in hushed tones about the questionable moments that ultimately defined his legacy within the 327th. Before we continue, I'd like to kindly ask all of you to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. We regularly post exposure videos, and your support would be greatly appreciated. But without further ado, let's spill the beans on the bean. It all began on January 2nd, 2024, when Baked Bean first joined the 327th Star Corps under the name Torrent Company. At first, Torrent Company was widely known and respected within the community for his affable personality and approachable nature. He quickly became a well-liked member, and many assumed that his future in the Corps would be marked by camaraderie and teamwork. However, the course of his story would take a dark turn, one that few could have predicted, as Torrent Company would slowly and inexorably transform into the infamous Blue Baked Bean. By late June of 2024, Torrent Company had shed his former identity and fully embraced the persona of the Bean. It was during this time that he introduced what would become one of the most bizarre and controversial chapters in the history of the 327th Star Corps, the Poop Log. This log, of all things, detailed in graphic and often disturbing detail the Bean's bowel movements. The descriptions were not just crude, they were meticulously recorded and, frankly, revolting. These logs were considered by many to be highly immature and, quite frankly, disgusting. However, the Bean wasn't content to keep these logs to himself. In a bid to spread his strange hobby, he began coercing other members into contributing to the logs. One such member was Mute Val, a veteran of the 327th Star Corps, known not only for her immense wisdom and age, but also for her steadfast reputation. Mute Val, who had served the Corps for over 500 years, found herself unwillingly drawn into the Bean's scheme when she was forced to contribute to the poop logs. The Bean's influence spread like wildfire, and soon the 327th Star Corps found itself embroiled in a scandal no one could have predicted. At this point, Torrent Company no longer existed. He had fully embraced his new identity as the Bean, a figure who seemed to represent the embodiment of rebellion against the norms of the Corps. The Bean's influence continued to grow, and his operations expanded within the 327th. The poop logs, once a mere curiosity, became an entrenched part of the Corps' culture. The Bean even went so far as to organize what became known as the Poop Battalion, a faction dedicated to defending the logs and battling those who sought to shut them down. In response to this growing crisis, Vaughn, with the support of Ibrolian, declared martial law in the 327th Star Corps. The crackdown on the Bean's operations was swift and harsh. However, by this point, it was far too late. The Bean had built a loyal following within the Corps, and the Poop Battalion had become a formidable force. The conflict escalated into a brutal war within the ranks of the Corps, leading to a tremendous loss of life and the destruction of critical infrastructure. In the end, the Poop Battalion and its operations were disbanded, and the poop logs were officially shut down under Vaughn's orders. The Bean, however, did not face the consequences one might have expected. Instead, he had already begun plotting his escape from accountability. Using his wits and a series of covert dealings, the Bean managed to gain favor with Republic intelligence, bribing and coercing key figures to gather evidence against the high command of the 327th Star Corps. With this evidence, the Bean was able to blackmail Vaughn himself, forcing the commander to release him from his watch under the agreement that the Bean would not attempt to resurrect the Poop Battalion or its accompanying logs. It was a stunning turn of events. Despite the chaos he had caused, the Bean emerged not only unpunished but with a victory under his belt. He had outwitted the very leadership that sought to suppress him. Blue Baked Bean's crimes against 327th are undoubtedly a testament to his true evil and a side of him he did not want revealed. What do you think about his legacy with this new insight? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the 327th Star Corps' most intriguing stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.